Hello there everyone, Ash and Flash here, and welcome on into a very special LEGO Star Wars video. Today we're going to be looking at all 5 of the Star Wars mechs. We've gotten them for the last 3 years now. We first started off with 3, last year we dropped down to 1, and we just got a new one here for June 1st. And they were original trilogy based and now Clone Wars based, so I'm so excited to take a look at these. There are time codes and chapters if you want to hop around to the different sets, but let's go ahead and let's go through these. Starting things off with the very first one, we have set number 75368. This is the Darth Vader mech, has 139 pieces and retailed for $15.99 USD or $19.99 Canadian. And this released back in 2023. This has since retired, unfortunately, but this was a great way to get the very detailed Darth Vader minifigure here. And you can see on the back just how it opens up and stores the lightsaber and everything. Let's go ahead. Let's build this. I think it's interesting. Sometimes they sort of are meant to be extensions of the suits. Sometimes it just takes inspiration and they just add some other things throughout the actual mech. Like this one, I think, takes a little bit more creative freedoms and liberties here with the amount of dark red throughout this. They add a lot, I think, here, which does look nice. It does add the color, otherwise it would just all be black. There is a lot of light gray and dark gray throughout this here. Something that I didn't realize as I was building each of the mechs is there's actually a big mech body piece here for the Star Wars mechs that no other mechs use. So I think that's really interesting that they have that piece. I don't know why other themes don't use that, like Marvel. Anyways, the posability here for this, it's pretty good. It can, of course, stand on one leg. There's a lot that you could do with this here to pretend to sort of pose and fight and move as well for the lightsaber. Unfortunately, the hands are not able to rotate. I think being able to rotate around the lightsaber would go a long way. The fingers used for all of the mechs are all these little clip pieces instead of the mech fingers, which I think is also very interesting. And the design for the feet and the legs, it's supposed to be sort of, I don't know, very Vader-y, robotic-y. I like the use of the Optimus Prime face plate pieces there. I think that looks good in black and how they did the legs. And of course, you are able to actually open up the front there and you can put your Vader figure inside, sit him like that, and then you close the mech around that. And the cape, it does get a little bit caught if you want to. If you really want to protect it, you could, of course, take it off. Now, when you're storing the lightsaber, you can actually clip it and you can put it up like that. Sort of looks like an antenna. If you want, you could also rotate and flip it down. I think that looks a little bit better to hide it. I think that maybe it could have been stored on the hips, like you're going to see for some of the other characters. So I don't know why they chose to have that on the back, but I do like that the back is a little bit more covered up than you're going to see for some others. Here's the Darth Vader figure. I feel like there's not much to say about this besides I think it just being really, really perfect. I think at some point maybe use some side leg printing, but until then, I think the face looks great there. The arm printing there, as well as the fact that on the back of the torso you've got some printing. The back head has some printing there as well. Just a beautiful figure. Next up, we have set number 75369. This is the Boba Fett mech, has 155 pieces, retailing for the same price of $15.99 USD or $19.99 Canadian. Again, has since retired, but has a very detailed Boba Fett figure included in it. And it's actually a little bit thicker of a box compared to the other mechs, but let's go ahead and let's build this. And this looks really great. Again, just taking the ideas and designs from the actual outfit and translating it to the mech looks really cool. I love the yellow throughout this here, like on the legs. I think that looks really great, and especially those shoulders. I love that tile there for the sort of armor, as well as the wrists. I think look really interesting with these pieces represented there on the side. You've also got the same fingers and everything there. And over here on this side, though, you've got a blaster in this hand that you actually can rotate and turn just a little bit to angle different ways. It does have a stud shooter in it there at the end, shooting out a regular stud there. I like the belt around the chest. I think that looks pretty good. But the best part about this for sure is on the back, the jetpack there with the missile is amazing. So unfortunately, you can't really bend it forward without it toppling over. You can actually bend it like this, I guess, if you wanted to have the blaster in the hands holding it up. But anyways, the back part of the jetpack can actually shoot out this missile, which I think is very, very cool. And also, if you wanted to as well, you could detach the whole jetpack there too, which I just love how they built that and designed that. I think that is so fun, and I think that is for sure making this one of the more detailed mechs out of them all. You, of course, can open this up here, and you take your Boba Fett minifigure there, and you can close them up inside, even with the jetpack, which I think is very impressive. And then you take the blaster and just attach it there on the hip as well. Here's a Boba Fett minifigure, just very detailed. I love the side arm printing there, and over here on the side as well with the shoulder pads and the little bit of the braid printed on that shoulder. The blaster looks good, the torso, the legs, and the helmet is really great. Also, unfortunately, no little fabric piece included, which I think would have gone a long way to have that piece. But also here, I'll just show you the rangefinder. It's got all of those extra pieces, but just to show you here what the helmet looks like with the new rangefinder from the UCS Slave One or Jango Fett's Starfighter. Presumably going to be getting this in a lot of other sets down the line, but that looks pretty cool. Underneath here, you can see the face there for Boba Fett with the scarring and everything there. Looks pretty good. And this is what the back of the torso looks like there as well. Next, we have set number 75370. This is the Stormtrooper Mech, has 138 pieces and retailed for the same price, $15.99 USD, $19.99 Canadian. And this is actually our first and only female mech, technically speaking, for Star Wars that you'll see in a bit. I don't know if this was a good way to army build for Stormtroopers unless you found this on discount, but I feel like there's definitely better ways to get more Stormtroopers. Let's go ahead. Let's build this. Here's the Stormtrooper Mech. I think this is the weakest of them all when looking at the design for this. There's some parts that I like, but the back specifically is very empty, and I just think there could have been some things that they took from the figure or the actual Stormtrooper outfit and translated that here onto the back, but it's fine. I do like how they did the shoulders. I think that's very interesting, using those Mario tile pieces there, the 2x4s. Look pretty interesting there on the sides, and even how they have that down below on the legs as well. Using those slope pieces looks good, and the feet are interesting designs there as well, how they did that with the tile piece actually covering up the little grate piece. But other than that, same sort of build here for the blaster here, and you can, again, shoot out this stud shooter. Shoots out a regular stud there, and then, of course, like the other ones, you can open this up, take the Stormtrooper, and close them inside, and then over here on the hips, you attach the blaster there as well, and that's how you store it for the Stormtrooper Mech. Here is the Stormtrooper included, and it's just the same Stormtrooper that we get all the time with the newer mask. I say newer, but we've had this for quite a while. Underneath, you've got this female face there as well. No back head printing there or anything, no hairpiece included, but you do have this blaster as well. Next, we have set number 75390. This is the Luke Skywalker X-Wing Mech. Has 195 pieces, retailing for $15.99 USD or $19.99 Canadian. This released last summer of 2024, and I'm excited about this. There's also a keychain that can actually upgrade the figure that I'll show you in a bit. But yeah, I like the idea of the actual set being a ship. I think that's really interesting. So let's go ahead and let's build this. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this is the best mech we've ever gotten. Like ever from Marvel or Star Wars. I think this is the best one for sure. It's not an extension of the actual outfit that Luke has on. It's not orange. It is instead an X-Wing, which I think just looks so cool how they have designed that here. It looks like a mech, but also just the wings here in the back. That is so fun. The different exhausts there in pink look great, and you can actually turn and angle each of the individual wing flaps there. You could even close it up, I guess, if you wanted to as well. It is just remarkable to me how they translated an X-Wing into this. You could even, I guess, if you wanted to, remove this off the back and just have it be sort of like a rebellion mech, I guess you could pretend here, but I love the rebel symbol there, and the build for the arm looks pretty good. I like the little yellow stud throughout this and the dark red scattered throughout that. The build for the lightsaber is the same as Vader's, and you've got that blade piece there, but in transparent blue. The build for the blaster is very similar here, but it is in the other hand, and if you shoot it out, it'll actually shoot out a tile there instead of a regular red transparent stud. But the hand, same design for the fingers, even the following year. The arm is very similar to the other build. I love the legs just with all these great pieces there, and everything looks so good. The feet as well with those tiles, little bits of red, the sand blue scattered throughout this. I love the point there in the leg as well at the kneecaps. Look really cool here. Now, in order to take your Luke figure, you need to remove all the accessories, and you open up the chest and you slide him inside like all the other mechs, but this time it's a little different. So in order to store the blaster, you store it there at the hip, and then the lightsaber can't go there. It has to go over here in the back, and what they have you do is store it like that, which doesn't really make sense because it's sort of cutting through whatever clip is holding onto it, but it still is very cool. Again, I think this is the coolest mech because it is a part of actually a vehicle here, and taking inspiration from that, this just looks so awesome. And here is the Luke Skywalker minifigure here. It's not exclusive. It's a good figure, don't get me wrong. I like the printing there on the helmet, the torso printing, leg printing, and everything there too. You've got a blaster, a lightsaber like you saw before, and the face printing there, you've got the goggles actually down, or the visor down, and then you've got it up a little bit there showing his eyes, and the mouth is open here as well with the strap printing. Now, what's interesting for this, for some reason, Lego had a keychain come out with the detailing here from the UCS X-Wing with the side arm printing there, and it's on both sides, as well as dual molded legs there. It's the same printing, but dual molded, which I think is really interesting. And with the keychain, the only things you can't take apart are whatever is on top of the head, the minifigure head, and the torso, and I think the hips as well. But eventually, if you keep wiggling back and forth, you can actually remove the legs here on both sides. And popping off the arms, you gotta be, I feel like that's probably the most dangerous thing. You could break the hands as well. And doing the same thing to the figure, you now have this perfect upgrade here for Luke in his X-Wing pilot outfit. This is perfect. You could also go out and get multiple of the keychains to upgrade other pilots. Like, this is perfect here. I love that. It's so cheap to do. Last up here we have set number 75411. This is the Darth Maul mech, has 143 pieces, retailing for $17.99 USD and $17.99 Canadian. I have no clue what's happening there. I get that the American price is going up because of tariffs and everything, but the Canadian price coming down is very, very weird, but I'm excited about this. This was sent to me early by Lego and Land to do a review for, and is releasing on June the 1st. And it's got a really cool Darth Maul minifigure included, and it's our first one set in the Clone Wars, which I think is very exciting. Let's open it up. So here it is built. I think this is a really good one as well, just how they've done some of the builds for this and taking inspiration from more the character, not necessarily even the outfit that he's got on, but I think this is really interesting to see how they have done this, especially since it's got a double-sided lightsaber there as well. So it's a little different. You can actually turn and angle it just a little bit in the hand there. But here, I feel like gives you a better idea of why they need to be using the mech fingers. So it really just covers up and holds onto the lightsaber a little bit more. But the arms, I love how it sort of looks like the tattoos. I think that's what they're going for there, as well as giving you some spikes, taking some inspiration from his Dathomir horns and everything, which is cool. The designs for the hands, I don't know about the silver and everything there and some of the dark gray used. I think it could have maybe all been black or maybe a little bit of red there, but the torso looks great with that printing there representing like the tattoos on his chest. But my favorite part are the legs. The mechanical legs look so cool how they've done that. Having this little piece there attached to this clip there in light gray looks great with some parts of dark tan, the little stamp piece in the back, as well as just the colors here, and the spike pieces for the toes in the front look great. I love this mech. I feel like it's just so simple and very expressive here with how you're able to actually pose this thing. Also, over here on this side, it's just the exact same design, just without the lightsaber attachment. Over here on the back, it's pretty empty. It's got a spot to store the lightsaber, as well as a little probe droid can actually be detached and fly around, which I think is a very cute and simple inclusion here. But let's go ahead and put Maul inside, and just to show you how this works, you open it up, you slide him on inside there, and then you can take this piece here and attach the lightsaber onto the back. Sort of looks like an antenna again. The only thing here that I'm just realizing is this is the only build, and I built them all back to back to back. It doesn't have that slope piece. Instead, it's just got that 1x2 little grill tile. So I wish they were a little bit more consistent. Here is the Darth Maul minifigure, and I think it looks great. It's a brand new outfit here, which is kind of crazy. I love the torso printing there. It looks so great. The bit of the chest that's showing looks awesome, and I love that leg printing there for the mechanical legs and everything. It looks so cool. I know that while we're just here talking about him, some people wanted the mech to be a spider mech, which would have been really cool, and I think that the legs would have been really cool if they created some new piece or something for that, but I also get why they didn't include that. Speaking of inclusions, I don't get how we're on, what, year 6 of Monkey Kid? I know it might be coming to an end, but they introduced that perfect hilt, and we're still waiting for them to use that for Maul. Like, look how much better this is with the bigger hilt. I did a video on this so long ago. Like, this is the perfect upgrade. I don't get what is taking so long, Lego. Just color this in silver. Now, what's interesting for this, the face is actually brand new. I know, surprising. But let me show you a comparison. If you look at the faces, first of all, I think the printing looks a little brighter on the newer one, but here on the nose, you can see it's a little different, as well as there's little black markings over here on this one, up at the forehead and down below on the mouth. So I didn't realize. I thought they just reused the same face. So kudos to them for actually going the extra mile and doing that. All right, there is my review of all 5 of the Star Wars mechs. I think that this is a really great collection here so far. I really do hope that they continue this and don't just do 1 a year. I think they could at minimum do 2, especially having characters fight. Like, this could have been partnered with the Vader mech or something like that, and I think that would go a long way to have duels and different things, but also just different eras is a really great step in the right direction as well. I think that these are really detailed, some of them more than others, and captures, I think, some of the characters and vehicles and different things much more than Marvel does. Also, giving exclusive figures and outfits goes a very long way, I think, for myself and others as well. But I would love to hear your thoughts on who should get a mech next. I'm thinking a General Grievous one using the Fortnite minifigure design would be insane. But what do you think of these mechs? Which one's your favorites? Comment it all down below. But I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Hope you all have a great day. We'll see you all in the next one.